Thank you all. This is a really wonderful turnout. This is really a wonderful turnout. It looks like we have more than 250 people here today. So, God bless all of you, and you're all to be commended for showing up on this Saturday in August. Well, certainly the mask has been torn away with these videos. The veneer has been shattered irretrievably. The facade, the carefully constructed facade of impenetrable public respectability by Planned Parenthood has cracked and crumbled. That facade has been built carefully over the last 7 decades with the help of some of America's wealthiest foundations, some of its major donors, the establishment press, the leadership of both political parties and of America's corporate elites. Now, however, Planned Parenthood, as a result of these videos, Planned Parenthood no longer projects the image of the country club gentry. It now reminds one of Baron Frankenstein. The only difference being that Mary Shelley's fictional character did not extract the organs from bodies whose hearts were still beating. This is a monstrous organization that's engaged in evil. This is the sort of thing that calls to mind the degraded physicians who worked in concentration camps or who experimented on prisoners of war in 1940s Japan. The only difference is this is not happening continents away in totalitarian societies overseas. It's happening right here all across America today. This is going to be obviously a very uphill struggle to defund Planned Parenthood. It enjoys the support of the President of the United States, many in Congress, the Democratic Party, some in the Republican Party, much of the media. We should not, when engaged in this uphill struggle, it should not be made more difficult by our own church. I want to speak just for a moment about the cooperation that's being provided to Planned Parenthood by some of our own Catholic organizations and institutions. We just learned the absolutely appalling news that Boston College, Jesuit-administered Boston College, is apparently offering internships for Planned Parenthood. And apparently Boston College is not alone. Other Catholic colleges and universities throughout the United States are doing so. Congressman John Lewis of Georgia was not only endorsed by the Planned Parenthood Action Fund, but he received in 2006 the Planned Parenthood Living Legend Award. Congressman John Lewis was also the principal commencement speaker at Our Lady of the Elms College last 2007. I don't know if you've heard about Connecticut Governor Daniel Malloy. He just claimed that all these videos are bogus and that we have to retain funding for Planned Parenthood. A few months ago, he was the principal commencement speaker at Jesuit-administered Boston College Law School. One of the things we learned as a result of these revelations and scandals is that the political arm of Planned Parenthood here in Massachusetts, the Planned Parenthood Advocacy Fund of Massachusetts, keeps a list of champions and allies in the Massachusetts legislature. One of these is State Representative Kevin Honan from this area. Kevin Honan is a graduate of St. Columbkille School and of Boston College, and is a member of the Knights of Columbus, and just received a humanitarian award from the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Joseph, Boston. By the way, one of the other legislative allies of Planned Parenthood in the legislature is Representative Stephen Ultrino of Melrose. Do you know what Stephen Ultrino did before he became a state representative and an ally of Planned Parenthood? He was a parochial school principal here in Boston, St. Mary's Parish School, and he's still listed as the Director of Finance and Operations for St. Mary's Parish of Melrose. We can find numerous other examples of this. In the last year alone, Boston College Law School, the College of the Holy Cross, Merrimack College, Regis College, Lady of the Elms, many other Catholic Memorial High School, all honored people, public figures and elected officials who agree with Planned Parenthood about keeping abortion legal and keeping it publicly funded. And of course, and we can't forget that Boston College honored Secretary of State John Kerry as the principal commencement speaker in 2014. Secretary Kerry, when he ran for president in 2004, was endorsed by the Planned Parenthood Action Fund and received a 100% rating from Planned Parenthood as a U.S. Senator. And here he's allowed to give the commencement address at Boston College, and I regret to tell you, it certainly gives me no pleasure to mention this, but among those participating in the commencement was the chairman of the Pro-Life Activities Committee of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, Cardinal O'Malley. So how can we possibly take seriously the opposition of the Catholic Church to abortion when we see so many Catholic institutions honoring the allies, champions, and endorsees of Planned Parenthood? Pro-lifers shouldn't be forced to fight a two-front war against a culture of death in secular society and against a culture of betrayal in our own church. We cannot hope that our cause until that cause is first upheld and vindicated in our own Catholic institutions which profess to be pro-life and which ought to be pro-life. Ultimately, if we're going to defeat Planned Parenthood, we're also going to have to reform the church and ensure that our own Catholic institutions show Catholic integrity and pro-life fidelity. Thank you all very much. God bless you. I commend you for being here tonight.
Thank you, C.J.